Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Bar20, where at this virtual tabletop, some friends of mine, we're going to be around playing Dungeons and Dragons. Usually 5th edition, maybe throw some more things here and there, but in general, this virtual tabletop will be about having fun, laughs, and great adventures. My name is Brandon Ross, the host and Dungeon Master. I would say we're going to go around the table to introduce everybody, but there is no physical table, so we'll just go down a fun virtual tabletop list. Great adventures. Hello, everyone. My name is Ross. How's my table doing?
Doing well.
Good.
Good. Let's start with, I'm just going to go down the list here. Rick, tell us a little about yourself. And then, quick, just who you are, what you're about, and we'll go down the list.
My name is Rick. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons now for off and on a dozen years or so. Got out of it for a while and then came back. And I am definitely looking forward to sharing my love of this game with everyone.
Sounds great. And, Annie.
Hi. Can you hear me okay? No.
Yeah.
Oh, you good? Okay, good.
Gotcha.
Sorry. So I'm Annie. I kind of got thrown into my first game like a year ago, and I love it. It's fun. I love my friends.
Barely over a year. Wow.
Barely. It was like a year and September?
You had fun with that
October?
character, though. It was great.
I did. She was my baby.
Thank you, Annie. Next would be Joe.
I'm Joe. I've been tabletop gaming in some form or fashion for more than half of my life. Did some with my family, kind of grew up in it. My parents played when I was a baby and when I was younger, and then I started playing, and RPGs, tabletop stuff, my whole life just about. So definitely looking forward to having some fun with these guys.
Is it true your dad made his first D20 out of a little rock he found, like, in the Stone Age?
Why, yes, it is true.
Then, of course, Miss Tasha.
Hello, I am Tasha. I was actually introduced to D&D by a friend a few years ago. Fell in love with it, and fucking head to toe in D&D ever since. So,
Very nice. Well, like I said, this first tabletop is going to be just having fun and telling a great story. So, without much more to go, we're going to get right into that. So, we'll start with a bit of fun scene here. This artwork was brought to you by a close friend of mine. He does fantastic artwork. Not quite on a lot of socials yet, but once I get his contact infos for Twitter, Discord, we'll definitely put those out. But there we have a lovely display of the town of Raso, a silver mining town. And as we begin this adventure in the early morning, we come to a darkened room, shades pulled shut, and within it 2 beds kind of pushed off to each end of the walls, even though they are separated wall to wall. This room being so small, there's still only maybe 2 or 3 feet between these 2 beds. Within them stirs a elven type form, and then also a strange furred form. I would say Cathalia would probably wake up first. It's early, maybe an hour past dawn. What do you do?
I stretch, and I guess I just get my normal stuff on. My really pretty armor, and I go outside for a little bit of a walk and some fresh air and some water.
Okay. As you're kind of getting up and around, Snow, you are awakened by your traveling companion. You chose a single room tonight.
Snow's gonna do the typical stretch. Front arms way out in front of her and just take her time waking up, adjusting to the fact that the sun is up, and start putting on everything. She has all of her armor, her gloves, her cloak, all of it. She is completely covered, head to toe.
Okay.
And she smells something good downstairs, so she's gonna go investigate.
Okay. Both of you head downstairs. Cathalia, you said you want to go for a bit of a walk, or are you going to hit breakfast first?
I'll probably get something to eat and drink, and then I'll go for a walk right after.
Okay, so the two of you come downstairs, and it's a smaller. You can tell it definitely wasn't originally built to be an inn, more just a kind of a central food source. But as more and more people have come to this town and travelers coming through trying to, you would imagine, strike it quick within the mines that are here at the base of this mountain town, it has kind of evolved into a two-story tavern. The second story definitely looking made a little more fresher materials used. But you do go downstairs. Behind the bar, you notice... Let me get my notes. Behind the bar, you notice a female halfling. She has gray hair, kind of bluish eyes. She just has a towel in one hand, kind of wiping down the bar. You can see her. She kind of goes... grabs like a tankard that's barely half drunk. She kind of looks around and throws it out a window.
The whole tankard or just what's in it?
Just what's in it. No, not that. No, not the whole tankard. Just what's in the tank. You see her just kind of like look around and then throw it like just back.
Fair enough.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
What do you two do?
I'm pulling something up real quick. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I walk up and I say, "Good morning."
Oh, good morning. Can I get something for you, dear?
And I just have like some bread and some coffee, please.
That's it? No eggs? No bacon?
I'm not a breakfast eater, really. Just a little bit to line my stomach.
Fair enough. And she kind of, her eyes move over to Snow. And for you, she kind of eyes you up and down a little bit. And you
I'll have some of...
completely covered? Face and everything?
Yes.
Okay.
So the only thing that she would be able to see are Snow's eyes.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Snow's gonna kind of look back at her. I'll have some of that meat you call bacon, please.
Sure. Just give me a moment. Go find a table. I'll get it taken care of. And then you see her, she dismisses you for a second, and then her kind of hand comes up. She goes, wait. She really kind of eyes over Snow. And then looks back to Cathalia. You wouldn't happen to be... And she kind of... 1 second. And you see her walk down towards another side of the bar, kind of reach underneath, pull out a kind of a bit of a rolled up piece of paper. And she comes back, unrolls it. Not much is written on there. You wouldn't happen to be Cathalia and Snow?
I look over at Snow and then back at the barkeep, and I look visibly concerned, but I don't say anything.
Who's asking?
Well, this notice of payment was left early this morning by Hoon? Hi, Hoon. God, this is horrible handwriting. Hoonvilla. I don't recognize that name. A Hoonvilla family paid for your night stay and your breakfast? And she hands it over to Kaitalia.
I take it and I read over it.
As you read over it, it does state that the two of you will be paid for your night's rest, or your stay here in this tavern, and your meal would be covered by the Hoon family. And it says payment enclosed, so you'd imagine it was probably sent with some money. And then the signature is a familiar name of Edmund Hoonvilla, who is the noble father of the family you helped escort here from your hometown of Weirwood. And then further down it states, right after the signature, it has a postscript. Please meet us for dinner before you head out.
I do that aw thing, like the hand on my chest. I'm like, that's sweet. And then I kind of show it to Snow.
Snow will just take it over and read it. And hand it back to the barkeep. A friend that we assisted on the way.
Well, it was very nice of you. And I certainly covered your night's stay and a breakfast. I'll get to it. And she kind of disappears to a back room to prepare your meals. So did you find a table?
Sure.
Okay. You find a table and sit down and waiting about this time because a different set of adventurers had arrived a little later in the evening after you'd already gone to bed. And we open up to a different part of the building, more towards where the sun is actually rising as its rays pierce through the kind of tattered cloth, coming across the form of a orc male and a elven male. I would say Kelvin would rise with the rays. Tamriel, did you trance or did you sleep?
I went through reverie.
You trance. So you would be
Yeah.
aware of the coming of the dawn first.
Yeah.
So
I was kind of already starting to stretch out a little bit and stand and kind of get my stuff together.
I would say you would probably
by the time Kelvin
about an hour and a half after dawn before you either woke him or just wait to see if he rose from his own sleep.
Kelvin is currently sleeping on the floor because he is a little bit large for the small beds that are probably in this establishment.
Most definitely.
He is basically spread eagle, arms splayed out, legs kind of just large, heavy snoring.
I just kind of keep my stuff kind of consigned to the bed and just kind of start gathering stuff and flipping through the book that I found with the rest of my gear.
Okay. As you're sitting there over a few minutes of trying to understand the apparent gibberish in this book, a very just delicious smell comes across your nostrils of cooked meats, breakfast foods, breakfast drinks. Definitely.
Oh dear God, I forgot how good food smells. I start to sit up and grab anything that's valuable and throw it in a pack and grab it with me and just kind of gingerly try and open the door without bumping into my friend before I try and sneak out to go get something to eat and settle my stomach.
It is definitely about. Yes, it is definitely about this time when the smell comes through that Kelvin, as the door opens, when he sits up very quickly and says, breakfast! And starts to rise himself. prestidigitation, make sure he's looking nice and dapper.
That's a nifty trick.
Oh, it's just something I learned with all my brothers and sisters.
Yes,
Shall we go?
you have brothers and sisters. Yes, sounds good.
Okay, the two of you
After you.
head out into the hallway, and you would make a right to get to the staircase that leads you downstairs. And as the two of you come downstairs, Snow and Cathalia, you hear the sound of, and then a little heavier, coming down the stairs. The two of you, I would imagine, would look and notice a... describe yourselves real quick for me as you come down the stairs. Kelvin, then Tamriel.
Kelvin is 6'7", 285 pounds. Pale green skin, short tusks. His hair is kind of man bunned in the back, but it's short dreadlocks. He's in very snug fitting clothes of browns and darker colors. Very elven make and design, and he carries with him a staff as he makes his way down the stairs.
Okay, and Tamriel?
Tamriel is average height, if not just a little bit under. Very athletic build, not lanky, kind of a runner's build. Not much of, not a lot of muscle.
Okay.
He's wearing underneath his studded leather. He has clothing, shirt, and trousers that are mottled in browns and greens that kind of blend in with like the forest canopy. Help kind of hide a little bit, and a cloak with similar coloring. Has a short sword and a whip on his belt, and has a rather nice looking ring on his left ring finger.
Okay.
Otherwise, he has kind of hazel brown hair that's about shoulder length and feathered out, almost a little bit bedhead, but not much.
Okay. And as two of you come downstairs, you notice not a lot of people around here. Maybe one other patron passed out at the far end of a bar, and then you do notice the only ones awake really right now would be a pair of discernibly female figures. But there is currently no one at the bar to take any orders for breakfast, but you definitely do smell the food being cooked.
When we walk downstairs, do I notice anything about these two female figures?
Make a perception check.
Uh, 16.
16. One of them you can notice is they're both female based upon their structure. One is covered in what seems to be head to toe in just either cloak, robes, cloth wrappings, something like that. The other one has a familiar features to it with the shape of her face, the eye color, and the hair color. You know this person, and it's been a very long time since you've seen her. And then, Cathalia, would you look over to the steps coming down, or would you just ignore it?
I would probably look over just because I'm curious as to what that noise is.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
That's a 9.
A 9. You haven't seen a full orc around these parts in a while, especially accompanied by another elf. But something about him just seems maybe familiar.
just kind of stare at him for a minute, like
Okay.
not to be awkward about it, but sort of
Are you
being
trying
awkward
to be
about it.
awkward or not trying to be awkward? Like
I'm trying to
you
hide
doing
the
like a
awkward.
hard stare or just look?
Yeah, it's totally a hard stare, but I'm trying to not make it be a hard stare, but I'm failing miserably.
Okay.
Do I notice her hard staring him?
I would say. Yeah.
I'll kind of lean up and put my hand on his shoulder and pat him and say, "Don't give it too much thought, my friend. Most people don't take kindly to elves. Try and play it off like she's staring at me or something."
Right.
You should go say hi.
I think I need to eat first.
It's about
Breakfast does sound wonderful.
Nice. It's about this time you watch as a gray-haired halfling female walks out from behind the bar holding 2 plates with just some bread and 2 cups. And then she also has another plate with some very delicious smelling bacon on it. And she sets the food down on the table where Snow and Carthalia are sitting, and then sets the 2 cups down. Anything else for you two today?
That'll be all for me, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
and like I
all for
said,
me.
your meal for breakfast is already covered. And at this point, she kind of straightens herself, turns around. Oh my! As she sees the other 2. You came in late last night. Would you?
Yes,
like
and we
some
would also
breakfast as
love
well?
some breakfast.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good, good. What would you like?
I'd say half a dozen eggs and a rasher of bacon between us with a couple of mugs of coffee would be wonderful.
Okay, okay.
Kind of elbow him a little bit. What are you gonna have?
Better make it 9.
Okay. Running about. About 7 silver.
I lay down. This is all I've got, and I place a gold coin on the table.
Oh. Right then. She takes the coin, pockets it, and goes back behind where she was previously to make a large meal.
Thank you, my friend.
Of course. Well, we have seen combat together, so the least I can do is make sure we're both well fed.
Yes, I do hope that that creature found his way home.
Yeah,
That guy.
I hope he's not done anything worse to someone that can do less.
I would like to think he learned his lesson. Don't
I
pick
like
on
your
things.
optimism.
Don't pick on people who are bigger than you.
Very true.
Are the 2 of you just standing, or are you going to find somewhere to sit?
I think we'll take a table near the young ladies, but not right next to them.
Okay. I would say for this, Carthalia, give me a insight check.
10.
10? You can't put your finger on it, but there's just something in your gut that just... That orc, there's something about him. Just his mannerisms, the way he's dressed. Doesn't dress like an orc, and he just seems very familiar to you, but a long time has passed and you can't quite perfectly grasp that memory. But you know him.
Kind of look at him for a little bit, and then I look down back at my food,
Okay.
and I've got really thoughtful, like trying to remember look on my face.
Snow is just watching Cathalia and just like kind of trying to gauge her reaction to these two off of her, and is just focusing on her bacon until Cathalia decides if this is something she needs to pay attention to.
This stuff's delicious.
Meat!
Okay. Say a few minutes go by, and the halfling female comes back with a you remember those large trays they use at restaurants to bring out a lot of plates at once.
Yeah.
It's one of those, but it's just for you two.
Perfect.
This is breakfast.
And there's no plates. It's on the tray.
That's fine.
That is the plate.
She comes around. She goes, yeah, clunk. All right, there you go. Anything else, darlings?
I think this will be enough for now. Thank you.
Is there anything to drink with this meal?
Oh.
Yes. Our coffee, please. Thank you.
Be right back. She goes back and comes back with a almost like a. Oh gosh, what are those cups called that have the lid on it that close and open?
A carafe.
The Stein.
She comes back with those. It's like this larger than her own halfling head Stein, and it's just even though it's closed, you can see the steam coming out of the quite uneven cap. And she opens it up and pours it into two decent-sized mugs for the two of you. And clunk. Sorry about that. Anything else?
That is all. Thank you.
Right.
She was gone. I've already eaten 2 eggs and have a handful of bacon.
Right.
It's really good.
I make sure I pull a couple of
Thanks, darling.
eggs to the side for me to have.
For you, the prison pull it over,
just to make sure I get something that I paid for.
Kelvin has this kind of look like, what do you do? Oh, wait, never mind. I'm sorry.
I start to eat, but a little bit slower than he does.
Okay.
Savor the warm food. For some reason, I can remember how much better warm food tastes after spending weeks out at a time.
Okay.
This is definitely a lot better than the food I'm used to have eaten for the past dozen years or so.
Yeah. Speaking of dozen years or so, give me a wisdom save. Kelvin.
Yes, I'm working on it. Oh, that would be a 3.
A 3? Never mind. This food's delicious.
Okay.
So, everyone finishes their meals. What do?
Kind of lean back and wonder what was pulling us in this direction again. Deciding to kind of hang out with Kelvin for a little while and letting him kind of... What do you think we need to do next? Where are you feeling pulled? We did follow your gut here.
I would say about that time, the halfling female comes by the tables and let me just check everybody's passage real quick. Oh yeah. She walks to Cathalia's table and says, once again, I don't know what you did for them, but whatever it was, Miss Cathalia, you definitely helped I guess, a new noble family in town. So I'm sure it'll be nice to have new owners around. So thank you. And then at that name, Kelvin, you know who is across the seating room from you.
Yep, I do. Hey, Tanriel, we gotta go.
Okay. Wonderful
Um,
meal. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
But,
thank you.
My friend and I must be going.
Okay.
I'm going to put my hands down. I'm going to stand up. I grab my staff and try to not walk by their table as I leave.
Okay. Cathalia, Snow, you both kind of, after you finish your meals, kind of see this orc just very abruptly, like, we gotta go.
Snow is watching them very carefully as they leave.
Okay.
I keep doing the hard stare because it seems so familiar.
I'm definitely, as we walk, making like quick little glances over towards the table. And I imagine at some point I would lock eyes directly
And you do.
with Cathalia.
And there is that moment to where you are about 5 steps from the front door, and there's that almost like slow in time passing to where Cathalia and Kelvin lock eyes. And it's almost like a rush of memories coming back from your childhood. The two of you playing with each other. Two of you going out in the woods, just having fun, being kids. And then one day he's gone. And Cathalia, you know who this is across from you. This is your adopted brother.
My jaw just drops. Like, if it could hit the table, it literally would.
Okay.
Upon seeing the realization that she remembers who I am,
Uh-huh.
I make for the door.
You make a break for the door. Cathalia, what do you do?
I'm after my big brother.
Okay. Kelvin, you're at the door. Cathalia, you chase him.
Do I hear her running for the door?
Well, hang on. Well, point of order here. So, Kelvin, you started making your way to the door. Tam, did you follow him directly, or did you...
I was right behind him.
Okay, so you watched the two of them lock eyes, and he just takes off. So you see him take off, and you see her rush to her feet and start making her way to the door.
I kind of wait in the door for a second and kind of, you may want to give him a second, and follow and shut the door behind me.
Okay. So you sneak out the door, manage to close it just in time. Right when Cathalia gets to it, the door shuts in your place. It's not locked, it's just closed.
Kelvin, you may want to move quickly or hide somewhere. They're following us.
Yeah, is there a place I can duck around and hide?
We'll get that in a second. Snow, what are you doing?
I am right on her heels. She got up and started moving. Snow doesn't know why, but she's following.
Okay. So we'll finish with Cathalia, then I'll go back to the top of order. Cathalia, you make it to the door as soon as it closed, and this elven man you never met before just says, give him some time, and shuts the door in your face.
Give it about 3 seconds and I walk through that door.
Okay. 3 seconds. Kelvin, you can attempt to hide with disadvantage for 3 seconds.
Stealth check with disadvantage.
Yeah, you look around, and
God.
in front of you, you're not really in like the center of town, but you're a little close to it. You look around, there's some buildings around here and there. There's a well not too far away, but too far to get to. Your best guess would be to dart around the building, hopefully in enough time.
Oh, it's a shame that was at disadvantage.
I rolled an 18.
An 18 and a 20.
Oh, man.
There's your first nat 20 of the game, boys.
But it didn't count, though, because
No,
of
it doesn't count.
disadvantage.
That is unfortunate.
But I got an 18 total.
Very nice. All right. Next down, I'm just going to the Discord order list. Cathalia, you got the door. And give me a perception check.
$17.
Wow.
Wow. You look around, your brother is gone.
I kind of curse under my breath, and then do I
But
see?
you still see Tam. He's just kind of there.
I'm standing kind of in front of the door with a smirk on my face as I realize you don't see him.
Oh, I go up to him and is like, "Where is my brother?"
First of all, language, young lady. Second, told you to give him a second. So he's got his second.
All
I
right.
gave him seconds in over a decade.
When he wants to talk to you, he'll talk to you. But I'm not going to force this interaction.
Kelvin, you have just a few seconds to yourself here. What do you do?
Besides panic and freak out,
Yes.
I try to stay hidden as best I can.
Okay. Tasha, as you come out, give me a perception check.
Yay, this is what I wanted.
This is what I wanted.
I had really shitty dice yesterday, so I hope this makes up for it.
I believe.
Yes! I got it.
You kind of look around for a second, you're looking, and then just barely past the kind of to your left on the building, you see just a few fingers of a hand kind of curling around and almost like death gripping into the side of the building of kind of an olive greenish skin.
Can I try to, quietly make my way over to the corner?
You can certainly try.
Sure.
Oh yeah, wow. You start making your way over there.
I kind of just want to, slowly peek around the corner and go, boo.
Okay, you get to the corner. Tam and Carthala, you're having your conversation interaction. Kelvin, you're panicking. Does anybody want to change that before we move on to the next few seconds in this?
No, I'm trying to keep one of them occupied at least.
Okay.
I'm just death glaring. Tan.
Okay. Kelvin, panicking, correct?
You're probably wetting myself a little bit.
Okay, as you're there, all these thoughts are just rushing through your orcish brain. You hear, boo!
And then I'm going to call back to
All of
Cathalia and
you-
say, he's over
All
here.
of you hear that.
I found him.
Ah, gods.
I can't go back, and then I start to move the other direction.
Okay, you start. Are you running? Are you walking?
Is she following?
Cathalia, what do you do?
I look in that direction and I walk fairly. It's not a. It's a brisk walk. It's not a run
Okay.
because I'm trying to be
So
scary.
You power walk your way with your 2-pound weight.
All 2 pounds.
You walk your way to the edge of the building, and you look past snow, and you see your large brother walking away from you.
So,
You go after him?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kelvin, you're being pursued.
I am going to basically look over my shoulder and keep a slightly faster pace
Okay.
and just shoot back over. I don't care who sent you. I'm not going back. I can't.
Snow's gonna look at Cathalia. Do I need to stop this person?
That's not a good idea.
Okay.
No, he's brother and long time. And I yell at I don't want you to come home. I talk to you. Wait, that totally sounded wrong. Yes, I want you to come home, but we can talk about that later.
Okay. As you are walking to catch up with him, I'm guessing.
I stop. Like, when she says she wants me to come home, I just stop. And I look down at my hands. I can't. Not after what I've done.
I stop a few
I can't
feet
do
behind
it.
him.
What exactly did you do that you can't go back?
I sit down like a few feet away from him and I just watch him.
Okay.
I just... people have... It's my fault. He's dead and it's my fault. And I just start walking slowly.
You mean that kid at the thing?
Yes.
Kel, he's fine. He has a family now.
Mid-step I stop.
Okay.
I saw him stop moving. I saw him die. I had
He
to
got
go.
up like 10 minutes after you left. He was fine.
What? No, I saw him... I saw him fall. He stopped
then?
moving. Because of
After-
me.
And then whatever you did helped him. And after you left, he stood back up. Hell, he doesn't remember. He just thinks that you punched him.
Elvin turns around, looks at his sister. I'm still not ready to go back.
I don't expect you to.
But it is good to see you.
I jump up and I go hug him. Like, run hug.
Okay. Tamriel, Tasha, Snow. Sorry.
I'm kind of standing there with a bemused expression on my face and trying to get something out of the minimal back and forth they had
Okay.
while kind of there pensively and keeping an eye on the rest of everything else going on in this tiny little town.
Okay. Snow.
Same, just kind of holding back, waiting for Cathalia, seeing what happens next.
Okay.
Just kind of let them have their moment.
I would say Tamriel and Snow. Give me Arcana checks.
Ooh, I'm good at that.
Not bad at that. Nice.
Oh, double 20.
Nice.
Very nice.
The two of you being not quite shoulder to shoulder as you're watching this, but within talking range, you do get that bewildered look to each other as you're watching this, and then you both kind of like that aha moment hits to where if this happened a while ago, you'd imagine there might have been a surge or an awakening of arcane power within the orc, and he may have seen one thing because of unable to explain what happened. Perhaps he did harm somebody, but it seems he also immediately helped them as well. So you'd imagine that some kind of arcane force could have potentially awoken and then been expressed in that moment of tension when obviously one's much younger, going through, those school days. So the two of you kind of talked it out and kind of think you piece together what may have happened.
Well, at least they're not trying to kill each other.
And Kelvin, your younger sister, runs up to you and gives you the run hug.
It starts out with my arms are kind of down at my sides, and then slowly, one goes, on her back and holds her, and then the other one ruffles her hair.
Okay.
I don't even push his hand away. I'm just glad that I'm hugging my brother for the first time in forever.
First time in over 10 years.
What brought you here?
Well, my friend and I helped a family, and we spent the night, and we're just here. We just had breakfast.
And your friend?
I yank his arm in that direction, the good little sister that I am, and I go to introduce them.
Or do you resist?
There's kind of that initial kind of pullback, but then follows.
Okay.
I mean, she's probably stronger than me, anyways.
You are pulled back to the other two. Tamriel.
Snow sees the orc, the orc coming, and takes 3 very tentative steps backwards.
Okay.
He's not gonna hurt you.
She kind of looks between
Right.
him, Cathalia, and the orc, and him, Cathalia, and the orc, and she just stays there.
Okay. So, Cathalia, you bring Kelvin back to the rest of the group.
I point at him and it's like, this is my brother. And then I look at him and I point at Snow. It's like, this is my friend.
This is your brother, you say?
It's a long story.
Yeah, she's adopted.
I see. And you trust him?
I look up at him. It's like, I would trust him with my life.
Snow will stand up to her full height, which is 6 foot, and pull her cloak hood back and reveal her form. And what you see is a white and silver feline head, ears, whiskers, and all, with 1 green eye and 1 blue eye. She is Tabaxi. And she keeps the hood down for a minute and then puts it back up very slowly.
Okay.
What an interesting creation.
She kind of tentatively gives him a side look that says, what is going through your head and what do you want?
I knew there were other types of folk out there, but I've only ever met other elves and a dragon. She called herself a dragonborn, but a little dragon lady. Not many other. You're the first. What are you?
I am Tabaxi.
I lean forward. Pro tip, buddy: you don't just go up and ask people what they are. That's important.
Yes, Kel, that is really rude.
It is all
You
right.
can't just ask what she is.
I too had my
I don't
own.
want to get her race wrong.
No,
Y'all are making
we
this
would
difficult.
Never want that. Elf.
Oh my god.
I kind of to try and help diffuse the situation at least a little bit, lean over and go, "My name is Tamriel," and I reach out to shake Kithali's hand. "Nice to meet you. I was curious what Kelvin's sister would look like." With kind of an inquisitive eyebrow.
After a couple minutes of contemplation, I stop and think about it for a second. Like, about what I said earlier, no.
I shake Tan's hand and then I look up at Kel. I was like, what did you say earlier?
Don't worry about it.
Just kind of glare at him.
I side-eye Tam.
I don't even remember, so you're fine. Promise.
It's probably for the best. Oh, what do you guys do next?
So what are you guys doing next?
I would say at this point, a few more people are awake, and there's one kind of like scrawnier looking, dirty brown haired kid, and just like not the greatest of clothes, but wearing clothes, and he's just yelling out news from the day so far. And it's just, you can gather it's kind of a town crier. Young kid, squeaky voice, strange activities in the mines. Mines under attack. Skirmish in the north. Ornalis jeopardized. And then just things along that nature.
I'm just going to stare at him for a minute. Like, what?
He's literally just repeating those things over and over again. As he is walks, not close to you, but you can see he's definitely keeping to the middle of the street and just walking down it, and then starts going down another street.
Okay, well, apparently there's conflict in the north.
Trouble in the mines.
Our mines close by. Do your friends have a vested interest in the mines?
I would say, Cathali, you would remember the reason the Unvilla family had moved from where they were was because they had purchased mines recently. And he was boasting about the low price available.
Think for a second, and then I'm like, yeah, they just bought the mines recently. That's why we brought them here.
Huh. Maybe we should see if your friends need more help than you've given already. We kind of followed a gut feeling here, so maybe this is why we were led here. I don't...
It was a dream.
I look up at him. It's close enough.
Snow is gonna make her way up next to Cathalia and remind her, we did receive an invitation for dinner tonight, but we could go sooner if we wish.
We could. And then we can see if it's okay if we bring a couple of more friends with us.
Shall we
So
go
we
track
wouldn't
down
say
this
no.
noble then?
Yeah, if the boys would like to go with, they can come with us.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've got most of my stuff with me already, so kind of readjust stuff and let's get moving. Sounds good to me.
Okay. I would say that who would like to helm looking for this noble's house?
Considering I don't know what they look like, I am going to kind of maybe usher to the women to walk first.
Okay.
You might have a better idea of who we're looking for than I do. And maybe we
True.
don't let the 6'6" green elf lead the way.
I give a little bit of a smile. It's like, yeah, I agree. Come on, Snow, let's go.
Snow will just fall and step behind her.
And I follow behind Snow.
Okay.
I'll run up the
So,
rear.
Cathalia's in charge.
Cathalia, give me an investigation check.
That's why I didn't take it.
Rude.
I know my own skills. I don't trust my dice.
It's. I can't tell if it's 14 or 5 because I don't know why it's coming up this way.
We'll just
It's
always,
the
then-
first set.
we'll always take
Yeah.
It's the
Take
first
first.
set.
Okay, that's 14 then.
Okay.
Now, why are you rolling twice?
It's set to auto roll advantage. I'll fix it later.
Ah, okay.
I would say because you did not go with them to their house, it does take you a little bit of time. And this isn't a huge town, but as you walk through the streets of this mining town, you do notice that most things here seem like they may have been built within the last 5 to 10 years. And that you do notice the most central point of this being a well and a bell tower, tall, 3.5 stories, but it's just the bell tower. And as you're looking around, you notice that off in the distance, as you are moving a bit further north looking for this noble's house, you're getting directions from people about, the new ones. Yeah, they're up that street, left, and you walk around, and everything does have that about 5 to 10 year look. It does not look old or aged. And as you move a little further north, just off in the distance, along the base of the mountain range, you can see another taller bell tower. I mean, it's out there. And then as your attention brings you almost to the outskirts, you do come upon what you believe to be the manor of the Hunvilla family, or the newly taken over manor. I'd say with looking around, kind of getting a feel for the city or the town, looking at the different cultures of, basically it's a mining town. It has been built at the base of this mountain. As you can see, there's entrances to various mines up the mountain, some close, some much further up, some you probably can't even see all of them, you would imagine, because you do just see carts just coming in and from a direction where there seems to be no discernible entrance to a mine. It's just either further south or further north, up or down the mountain range. But as you do come across this newer manor, you can notice there's not a lot of decor to it, not a lot of like symbology or anything. You definitely see places where like a crest was hung on the gate, but there is nothing there. You would imagine that it had been removed from the previous owner, and the Hunvilla family has not had a chance to make their presence well made here in Raso. But you do, nonetheless, track down where they have moved into, and you find yourself standing at the gates. Not a huge, tall gate, maybe like, all in all, maybe like 5 feet, 6 feet tall. Not really meant to keep anybody in or out, just to be decorative and nice. Ironwork as it goes around the entirety of a smaller courtyard and then just ends into the sides of the building itself.
The entire time that we've been walking around, Kelvin is looking around because this is the biggest city he's ever been in. Just taking in all the different sights and sounds and people.
Just kind of look up at him. It's like, you haven't gotten out much over the last few years?
No, I've been kind of in a hut.
I would say, while you all are walking around, just give me general perception checks before we move on. See how much you discern from the village.
Not much.
Very little. I got a 9.
I would say Snow and Kelvin, you would notice as you walk past the bell tower, carved over the archway is the numeral representing 4, the number 4. And this would be the bell tower that was in the center of town.
Okie dokie.
But you find yourselves at the front gate of this house. What do you do?
Do we see anyone working inside? Any kind of, I don't know, you said noble, so wait staff maybe?
As you're standing there for just a few moments, looking around, you do see a decently dressed female, human descent, kind of flick through a window, and then the curtain kind of closes back down and the front door opens and she walks out. Can I help you?
I think the bigger question is, can we help you?
Are you here to see the lord of the manor?
Yes, please.
She kind of looks around the group.
If it helps, please tell him that his escort has returned at his invitation.
She kind of nods her head a bit, and you see her go back inside. Door closes. You left here for a few minutes. About 5 minutes pass. And then right about 7 or 8 minutes, Cathalia and Snow, you recognize a kind of a portly male with brown hair and kind of like greenish eyes. A little older gentleman come out. This is Edmund. He comes out to the front of the gate. Wasn't expecting you already. It's barely past lunch.
I look over at Snow and Cal and Tan, and I look back at Edmund. I was like, yeah, we heard something in town, and we just kind of wanted to come talk for a little bit.
Right. Well, yes. He kind of thinks for a moment and opens the gate for you. All of you? Who are these two gentlemen?
Yes.
I point at Tan. It's like, this is Tanriel, and this is my brother Kelvin. We just met up at the tavern a little while ago.
You can see his face become very confused when you introduce your brother. Right.
We all get surprised the first time, sir. It's nice.
I put my hand out. Name's Kelvin.
Hi. Adopted.
Yeah, she is.
I just
Okay.
kind of put my hands to my temple, like, oh my gosh.
Yes, come in. Had just finished up lunch. And he leads all of you inside to his manor. And it's nice. It's well built, newer, nice furniture. It's a nice like red rug on the floor as you walk into the first room, which immediately opens up into kind of a just a general like central room for the entirety of the building. Kind of off to the left, you can see a doorway with no door. You look in, you can see it looks like maybe a study or like a tea or coffee drinking room somewhere, like an office area. Off to the back, you can see a bit of a doorway that leads off to somewhere you're not sure of. Then to the right, immediately is some stairs, and he leads all of you kind of to the back room to where that door was, and leads you into a decently sized, not huge, but decently sized eating area. I would say it's comfortable enough to fit the four of you and Edmund, but you would imagine one or two more people, it will start to get crowded. And you can see there's little bits of food here and there left over. So the woman who had met you at the door is kind of cleaning it up. And at this point, Edmund kind of takes a seat and is still kind of picking his meal. Well, not gonna lie, it is kind of nice to have you here sooner than dinner. He kind of slinks back in his chair and gives a little half-hearted like, this is supposed to be a good opportunity. It's supposed to be a new way of life for my family. Really push us into the next rung on the ladder of nobility. Here I am with a useless mine overrun with strange creatures, half the crew slain or wounded, and nary much savings left after such a great price. Of course they were that low. Why would anybody sell a mine for that price if it wasn't overrun? And he's like, there's some paperwork on it. He's kind of picking it up, throwing it back down, eating on his food. He's definitely, I wouldn't say distraught, but just not doing so hot.
How many creatures are you talking about and what size? Do you have any reports?
I don't know. There is...
Do you know of anyone that's witnessed this, that still lives, we can talk to?
Well, there is...
We'd like to help if we can, but...
Well, that'd be great.
Knowing what we face would be very helpful.
Kind of looks around for a minute. Yes, there was brothers. They lived. One is not doing too well. They're at the hospice, just south of town. You kind of see, he looks through his paperwork, shuffles around. Yes, Yosef and Damien.
Which one is injured?
Damien, I believe.
Are his wounds just not healing?
I haven't been down there yet myself today. I just found all this out late last night and this morning.
Can you point me in the direction of this hospice?
Yeah, it's a building just south of the central town where the bell tower is. It has kind of he describes a symbol that's placed over it, hanging from the doorway.
Tan, you will find me there later. I will see what I can do, and I look around a little bit. Oh, yeah, the door right here, and then I make my way out.
Okay.
Edmund just kind of
Is
looks
there...
to Cathalia because he's comfortable dealing with her as they have a bit of a history at least. Your brother is a little strange.
You're telling me. He's been gone a while.
Oh,
It was a complete accident meeting him here, but a welcome one.
I bet. Well, if 4 of you can get these mines cleared up for me, I would be very happy. I can pay you. If you can get the mines completely clear and promise they're safe for use, I'll be willing to part with a bit.
We can discuss that once we get to that point. For now, we need to know what we're dealing with and if the 4 of us can do any true help.
Okay.
Unless you have any questions for us, I believe we need to take our leave.
No,
And
if you can find those
talk to those we can.
2 brothers, they should be able to tell you whatever they ran into down there. We'll say the mines that I purchased, they're to the north by about 2 or 3 hours.
Okay. We'll come back to you with what we have, and we can discuss everything then.
And he kind of stands up from his seat and walks over to you. And you did introduce yourself, correct? Or you were
No,
introduced?
I did. Yes, I introduced myself.
Okay. Well, Tamriel, appreciate it. He kind of extends his right hand a bit.
I go to shake his hand.
All right. He shakes your hand. Goes to Cathalia. This will be twice now. If you help me out here.
I will do my absolute best to help you guys out.
Thank you. And he kind of looks over to Snow. And you're in it too. Well, whatever's in your path, I feel bad for it. Hope it's not fireproof.
Snow just kind of gives him a smile.
If you still want dinner, though, instead of having to pay for a tavern meal, you are still welcome tonight.
That sounds wonderful, but I suggest you get extra helpings ready for Kelvin. He does like to eat.
He's
Noted.
a big boy.
So I can count on you all being here for dinner.
Yes.
Definitely.
Thank you in advance.
Please come back
For the
for it,
invitation.
just prior to sundown.
Sounds like a plan.
He nods his head and helps escort you out of his manor, out the front gate, gives a wave, and then closes it behind you.
All right. Well, suppose we need to go find this hospital.
There, we'll take a little bit of a break.
All right.
You guys want to come back
Okay.
in about, say, 20, 30 minutes? Just a good stretch, get a good snack.
20 minutes should be fine.
Yeah, I think so.
That should
Alright.
be good.
Works for me.
I will see everybody in 20 minutes.
See ya.
Well, everyone, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate it and hope you're enjoying the story so far. Thank you to Emily, Kelbs, Rot, Iron Beagle, Irish Guy for the follows. Greatly appreciated. John, good to see you here. Hope you're doing good.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a good break. Let's
Did.
Yes.
get this started back. Kelvin, you had left off a little earlier in the meeting to head to the southern central part of this town, while Cathalia, Tamriel, and Snow stay behind to gather a bit more information, finish out some details, and make arrangements for a free meal. I mean, who can say no to that?
Certainly not my character.
Okay, so the three of you have been left just outside the gates of the Hoonvilla Manor. Gotta check my own notes for that. Memorizing things you came up with. What did the three of you do? Actually, yeah. What did the three of you do?
I guess we're gonna start trying to head towards where this hospital field clinic thing is.
That's the word I couldn't think of.
Yes, that. It was south, right?
Correct. And as the few of you head south, and we'll go to Kelvin, who left probably about 5-10 minutes. He's ahead of you by that distance. In that time, you've been able to make your way back to the center of town, and a little bit south of that, you do notice a larger one-story building with a sign over front of it. It just says clinic. And then below it, there's like a kind of like a depicted picture of a roll of bandages crossed with a miner's pick. You'd imagine this is probably like where a lot of injured miners go to be treated.
I will make my way into the clinic.
As you get in, there behind a simple desk sits a male human. He's got this kind of curly, kind of dirty blondish hair with brown eyes. He seems to be currently going over some, looks like paperwork or something.
Sir, I was told that earlier you had a miner come in here with some injuries. A brother of a set of twins. One of the brothers was hurt. The name escapes me.
Kind of looked at you for a moment. You can see he's about to give some kind of quick retort to when you said someone injured was here. But you keep talking, it kind of cuts him off. And he goes, yeah. You probably mean the Rockefeller brothers. Damien is still here.
Yes, that's his name.
Currently here as well.
Can I...
Do you know
You are... No, but I was
Right.
told that there was injuries here.
Right.
Do you... Is this a regular clinic, or do you have any form of healing? I don't mean to sound rude. I understand that there is all types of healing. Is there any divine or magical healing that is present in this location?
Oh, no.
Do you mind if I took a look at this man?
How do you know them?
I guess me and my party are now under the employ of his boss. And I was told there was an injured person here, and I'm here to help.
Okay.
I put my hands... Is there a desk in front of him?
Oh, yeah.
I kind of put my hands like my fingertips together and kind of like rest them on the desk.
Right. Well, if you're employed by his boss, yeah, he kind of And then behind him, there is a wall. And then to his left and right are two separate hallways that lead further into this building. He kind of points off to his right. Down that hallway, you'll go the second door on the left is where they're both at.
Thank you, and I make my way.
Right. You get to the door. It's closed.
I do the whole, the doctor, like the knock knock and open at the same time.
Okay. Oh, what? Who are you?
My name is Kelvin, and I'm here to help your brother.
Right, you notice the brother is currently unconscious, pretty beat up. He's got a lot of what looks to be... Make a medicine check, actually.
Very well. 8.
He is not looking good. You can see he has bandages on him that have what appears to be dried blood or just a darkened blood, and is unconscious. Not hanging on death's door, but not awake. And that one that is unconscious, seems a bit thinner. He's got this kind of cropped brown hair. And Yosef, who you would imagine is the one that's awake and not so worse for wear, he's got some bandages here and there, but not a lot to really keep him down. He's really here to recover and watch over his brother. And
okay.
He also has kind of a brown hair, a little longer than his brother's. He has this kind of distinctive scar across kind of starts at the left side of his face and goes almost all the way up and disappears into the top of his skull under his hairline.
Okay. I was sent here by a mutual acquaintance. Your boss has hired my friends to help clear out the mine?
Villa sent you.
Yes, I left them to deal with that when I heard that people were injured. I had to come and see if there was anything I could do to help.
If it wasn't for the fact my brother and I were in this condition, I wouldn't have felt bad for anyone but him. He got a right shafted deal.
Can I see if there's anything I can do to help your brother?
He's been looked after by the local doctor already. What else could you do? I mean, kind of looks you over and kind of like, you're an orc kind of look. Like, what can you do?
I have gifts that were given to me that might be of assistance here.
Right. Just don't hurt him.
I won't.
Or else. He's trying to look threatening, but you can tell he's...
Also scared?
Also scared, yes.
Not 6'6".
Not 6'7".
Trying to be threatening, but also scared.
I put my hand on the door and kind of push it open a little bit. And if he steps out of the way, I will make my way into the room and to his brother.
It takes him a minute, but then he eventually does move.
Okay. As I move up to his brother, can I look over him and see... Now that I'm closer to him, is there anything I can see that's different from when I was standing in the doorway?
Yeah, go ahead and make my medicine check now that you're closer.
20.
Okay. Looking him over, you can see he definitely has a lot of... there are some bruises, but mostly he seems to have puncture wounds or something that didn't really slash across him, but just was an immediate entry point and exit point. And that's where like the most of like the bandages are. And now that you're looking at them closer, they're not really fully blood. It's blood, but it's much, much darker. For as fresh as the bandage is, it's not dried blood because it's still a bit moist to the bandage. But
He's still
something
bleeding.
is wrong. Yeah, he's still bleeding, but not profusely. It is contained and it is, being held at bay. But the color of the bandage is what really sets you off. It's much, much darker.
I'm gonna turn to his
And
to his
also,
brother.
with a 20, I would say, as you're looking, you can't really see the wounds themselves, but you can see kind of the underneath around his neck where the bigger veins are, and very faintly around the eyes and the tips of his lips are these faint kind of almost like it looks like his veins have been dyed a darker color. They are physically visible through the skin. Not heavily visible, but with a check that high, I would say you do see them. He's definitely sweating. And you can see there's a cloth with some clean-ish water. You feel it's been cleaned often, but it's been his sweat and face have been wiped clean.
I'm going to turn to Yosef. Yosef, correct? You're correct. That is your name,
Yes.
and your brother is Damien. I have that correct.
Yes.
I am going to, with your permission, can I cannot. There is something in his system, and I do not have the ability to do anything about that. I can, however, treat his wounds
Right.
better than these bandages can.
Okay.
With your permission.
If you can help him. Yeah.
Okay, I am going to and the brother is also injured a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Not nearly as bad.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to I'm gonna wave my hand over. Can you? I need It works better when there is someone that he cares about that is close by. Can you put your hands and hold his hand?
He kind of moves to the bedside as well and grabs his brother's hand.
Okay, I am going to reach out. I'm gonna put my one hand on the on Damien,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna put the other hand on Yosef, and I am going to twin spell Cure Wounds.
Okay. About this time that it happens, the rest of you have caught up, spoken to the gentleman at the front desk, and as you push into this room, Kelvin, describe the casting of that spell for me.
So what I'm going to do is, so I naturally have like a lot of elves do, a single colored eye without any no pupil or anything, but mine is a red, which would be uncommon for an elf, but more common for what my actual species is. However, when I put my hands on and I start to mutter some words, the eyes flash a bright white as the healing energy drips down from my arms through my hands, and I cast Cure Wounds on both of the brothers.
Okay.
First level. That's 12 healing to both of them.
Okay. You feel as though the spell and its influence did carry out its intended use. You feel like any wounds have been healed over, but you also know that anything beyond just flesh wounds still lingers.
Yes. I would like to now move one of the bandages a little bit to see with the magical healing, the flesh is now healed. I imagine the veins are still darkened, and he
Yes,
still
and they
is.
seem to be predominant around these puncture wound areas, even though it is, I would say, it looks like a good few months of healing has gone by. It appears to be scar tissue, but you know through divine nature that this scar tissue looking flesh will become just regular flesh. But
Mhm.
it definitely, you can see the void in the middle, and then outward from it is this, just the dyed of his veins.
His wounds have been healed, but the underlying ailment has not. I do not currently possess the ability to. I have not seen this before. This is dark. This is. It could be a poison. It could be something much worse. They do not have the means to help him here. I will do everything I can.
And it's, at this point, the rest of you have just seen this spell be cast.
How big is this room, would you say?
I'd say it's big enough to fit these two kind of like skinnier but still long resting beds, and then probably about 2 or 3 other people. So most, like I would say, 2 of you, 1 or 2 of you could have pushed in, and then left outside would have been peeking in from the hallway, but you still would have watched it happen.
I'll take watching by the door.
Okay. Kythali, I imagine you push in.
Yes, I would.
And Snow.
Snow is gonna stay in the doorway,
Okay.
and just quietly to herself, she's gonna cast a detect magic spell just to see if there's anything else at work magically.
Okay.
Like on Damien or around the brothers.
I would say you definitely feel like there's something there, but it is the school does not come to you. But it is definitely dark, yet faint.
So not one of the known schools then?
Correct. You're unsure if it's because of the nature of what's going on, or if it's something else, or if maybe there's not enough of it in his body to grasp the full knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You're unsure. What do you do?
I'll grab the attention of Cathala and Calvin since they're both in the room and just kind of. I'll just say to them, it's magic.
Okay.
Huh.
I don't know what kind of magic, but there's magic there.
That he just did or still left on them?
Still left on them from something. Something I can't figure out.
Gentlemen, are you up to answering a few questions?
Yosef kind of nods his head. I mean, I'm not sure
It's
what
also at
just
that
happened,
point.
but I'm okay.
It's at that point that Kelvin realizes that they even stepped inside the room.
Yeah. And
I wait awkwardly.
Yosef will kind of take his seat onto the bed he was resting on. Damien is still unconscious. I can answer a few questions. I imagine if Mr. Hoonvilla hired you, you're going to the mines, aren't you?
we're going to try to.
Alright.
Can you tell us a bit about what attacked you?
He kind of scratched his head a little bit. Well, we've I wouldn't say we've had our fair share, but we've seen a goblin or two, or a cave spider or two. But not like this. Over the last I would say a month, the mines all through this area seem to be having their own issues. It seemed random at first. We thought maybe there was just a nest stirred up and they were just skittering and running where they could. But then it got a little more focused to the north, where the now Hun Villa mines rest. He seemed kind of shake his head a little bit. I feel bad for that man. Got dealt a bad deal, he did. Previous owner knew something was up, sold for a cheap price and got out.
Huh.
But as far as what's down in there, it had the body of a goblin, but its eyes, they looked like someone had taken ink and filled them up black, and they sometimes you can chase them away or throw some food at them and they'll run, taking happy with what they can. No, they were savage. And the webbing, we've dealt with webbing before. Not like this. It was stronger. Didn't burn as well. Darker in color. Some of the guys stopped working altogether. Didn't want to go back in there. We gotta put food on the table somehow, so we kept working. Now I fear with your help, perhaps my brother will pull through this. Outside of that, I couldn't what else to tell you.
These goblins that attacked you, did they use weapons or bare hands or?
They didn't really have weapons. They had just some tools they could have stolen over the years. Mostly teeth and claw.
Huh. Not super common for goblins to have claws. This is, the eyes are disconcerting. How many attacked you, would you say?
3, 4, maybe 5.
And did they give any notice before they attacked? Were they yelling coming down at you, or did they ambush you? Did they lie in wait?
No, they just seemed to almost come out of nowhere. Could have been one of the side tunnels. So we were just working.
But not somewhere that were immediately illuminated for you. Did they trickle out, or did they all come at once?
He takes a moment to kind of close his eyes, and I don't remember. It was all.
As I finish kind of jotting everything down. Well, I thank you. Is there anything else that immediately comes to mind? Anything that might help us?
No. If we're going to go in there, it's north about 2 hours walk.
Is there anywhere to stay up there? Or is it kind of just in straight to the mine? Is there any kind of... When you work, do you bunk up out there, or
There's
do
some
you
older
really
buildings.
hike back?
There's some older buildings of the old Raso.
All right, well, we're going to go back and discuss things with your employer and come up with a game plan, and we'll let you know. Thank you, gentlemen.
Just stay safe in there.
We'll do our best.
What the rest of you doing?
As the conversation ends, before everyone, when everyone's leaving, I'm gonna put my hand on Yosef's shoulder and just. He's strong. But I've never seen anything like this before. I hope we can figure out what it is.
He just kind of quietly nods his head.
I'll nod and, just let my hand drag off as I walk away.
Okay. Cathalia, Snow?
Snow's just gonna back out of the doorway and make room for everyone else to leave.
Okay.
I step out. I squeeze between whoever I need to and make my way out of the room.
Okay. As all of you head out, you are left to the open streets of the Raso mining community. A few hours left before dinner. Is there anything you want to try to accomplish, or just move straight to dinner?
I want to look for somewhere. If we're going to be out there for a while, we're going to need supplies.
Okay.
Anywhere we can try and set up kind of dried rations or additional water or anything that can help us purify any water we can find out there.
Roll an investigation check.
Also, kind of discussing with the party a little bit. So that's not normal. That's an 18 on that investigation.
Yep, I see it.
Goblins don't attack like that. Goblins usually, at best, they'll use whatever they can, but even a handful are not going to attack two armed young men unless they were absolutely sure of the kill. Also, their eyes, that's not even close to normal. Even in the dark, that's not normal. Kelvin, did you tell the rest of us about the infection you were seeing?
Well, that's what I was about. He was infected with something. It was not poison. There was something in his system from the wounds. I did everything I could, but I don't know if he's going to make it.
Not so much, as cold-hearted as it sounds, I'm not so much worried about him making it as I am what he will turn into should he succumb. There are a number of things that could make that much worse.
I would say with an 18, it's pretty quick for you to make your way back to the Centaur Bell Tower, and just off to the west a little bit, you do see a small barn-looking building, but the sign over it just says General Store.
Huh. Does anybody else need anything? I was going to get some more crossbow bolts and maybe a few more torches. Some more rations in case we're out there a little longer than we'd like to be.
How long do we think we will be out there?
Until the job's done.
That can be dangerous. I'd say no more than 3 days for the first run. That's more than enough time for us to get an idea and for us to be able to find a cause, at least, and gauge how well we'll be able to help.
I could probably use some more arrows. Maybe.
Are you still plinking around with that bow?
Glares at him. Yes, I am. And I'm good at it.
I hope your aim is improved.
Wow.
But are you dead?
I don't know about dead, but I do see that scar on his forehead.
He was trying to shoot an apple.
I'm pretty sure that you flinched, and that's what happened.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure you missed the apple. Shall we continue?
Wow. Shade. Wow. I would say finding a few days worth of food would probably, would you say about 3 days worth you wanted to find?
Yeah, about 3 days total
Same.
for the four of us. I've got a handful for myself, but
Per person would put you at about, for 3 days, a silver per person.
silver per person. Can you make change?
Behind the counter, you see this kind of male elf. He's got his copper hair and really sharp green eyes. He kind of narrows his eyes at you. Yes. Of course.
Well, thank God for small miracles. And I flick him a gold coin.
Kind of looks at it a little quick, like he's actually inspecting it to see if it's fake or not.
Yeah, because I'm the one trying to peddle counterfeit gold in your tiny town.
He counts out. Change. Anything else?
Hold on one second. I want to check something real fast.
Would that shop have any potions, or would you actually have to find like a potion maker for that?
I've got a few. What you looking for?
What have you got? I'm interested in many different types.
He sees he kind of turns around and moves a few kind of boxes off to the side, grabs a much smaller box, probably about, let's say about 6 inches across, maybe about 4 inches wide. He sets it down and turns it to open it towards you, and as he opens it up, there's 2 small red vials within them. I've got 2 potions of healing.
How much for one?
One is 50 gold pieces.
$50, yes.
You would have whatever your starting gold is for your character and class.
Yeah. I'm into making sure that's 50, not 15, right?
Oh yeah, sorry, 50, correct. 50.
Okay. Quite steep there, friend. I can understand having to make your way through, of course. I may have to return for these at a later time.
I'll be looking forward to it. He kind of eyes you up and down as he closes the case, locks it, then sets it back behind him.
Good to know. Thank you.
Anything else for the rest of you?
One last thing. Can we get a spear with a crossguard on it, please? About a foot from the blade.
Get you a spear.
I suppose we can fix the rest of it.
One gold.
All right. Done.
Takes the gold.
I flick him another gold piece.
He snatches out of the air. He just kind of gestures off to his right, and you see like this, just like a bucket with just these decently made spears. Not exactly the best made.
That works for me.
I kind of poke my head around. Do you have any arrows by any chance?
I do.
How many do you have?
Regular arrows?
Yeah, regular's fine.
I have 2 bundles.
Okay, and how much for a bundle?
1 gold.
Okay, I'll go ahead and take them both.
Okay. He takes his 2 gold and hands you 2 bundles, which is 20 apiece, so 40.
Sweet. All right, thank you. And I put them into the big quiver.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'm just going to be wandering around the shop looking to see if there's any spell components, anything that I might need. Probably not finding much of anything that's effective for what I need.
Okay.
Just moving stuff around, putting it back.
All right. Are you looking for anything in particular, or you're just looking?
Just looking.
Okay. Roll investigation.
This is what I'm good at.
Oh.
I rolled a 7. I got a -1,
Ouch.
so 6.
You find some interesting things that maybe you can use for spellcasting, but mostly it's just like miner's tools, dried supplies,
Bobblehead of a cat.
skins, wooden figurines. That's about it.
Yeah, I just let's look around and then make my way out.
Okay.
Wave as I leave. Thank you.
He gives an awkward wave back. Interesting. All right. All of you leave the shop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Snow, was there anything you wanted from the shop, or were you good?
All good.
Okay. You all convene outside. Probably about, I'd say, about an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of time before the sun begins to go down. You guys just want to move forward to that, or is there anything else you wanted to accomplish here?
Kelvin, have you ever been taught how to wield a spear?
No.
Would you like to
No.
try and learn?
I'm not so much the fighter type.
That's understandable. The only reason I ask is that if these things are capable of corruption, we do want to keep them at a distance. And if we can stick one of them, we can certainly keep them at that distance. That's why I wanted the cross guard, so that way we can keep them at bay. It's up to you, but
I can handle myself.
more than fair. Alright, I suppose I'm going to take at least a little bit of time and try and work something out. There's some kind of serviceable crossbar.
Okay.
Even if it's just taking part of a stout stick or part of the shaft or something, kind of affixing it to about a foot short of the blade like I was talking about.
Okay. Give me a straight intelligence check.
Are you an 8?
Doesn't look great. Seems functional. Did you kind of...
Let's hope it'll hold.
Just, I would say you probably would have been able to go back to the shop and get like a smaller wooden shaft, and then tied it on there with just some thick twine.
Here's hoping it'll hold.
All right. Anybody else want anything to do? We're ready to move to sundown.
Good here.
I think I'm ready.
I think Kelvin probably would have just hung out with his sister and just talked about what she's been up to for the past, ever.
Okay.
And just kind of had a little, probably away from the rest of the party moment.
Okay. You guys want to go over that?
Sure.
Okay, so the two of you just kind of decide you're going to check out Raso on your own. Dismiss yourselves from the rest of the traveling companions you've had, and you go about kind of aimlessly wandering the streets of this mining community. And it is certainly a mining community. It definitely seems it was built less to be a town and more to just support the workers and the owners of this area. But the time is yours as you wander around.
So it's been a while since I've seen you last. Did you finish school?
Of course I finished school. I haven't really done much anything else other than I found jobs.
That is good. I'm hoping that you did, in fact, get better with your bow.
I heavily roll my eyes. Yes, I did.
Well, you're not dead yet, so that is good.
The pointy end does not face me, big brother.
Hopefully it doesn't face me again. I don't know if you heard everything or saw what you saw, but when before I left, something in me changed, and I got these abilities now. That's why I thought I killed that person. I didn't know what happened. So I left.
I mean, that's understandable. I might have done the same thing, but you didn't even write, and we were worried.
I thought everyone was looking for me. I couldn't face what I had done. I was living actually not too far away. Maybe about 2 or 3 days travel. A woman, a dragonborn, had found me, or I found her. I don't know. It's a little weird. But I lived out there for, well, up until a few days ago.
Dragonborns are definitely weird.
Yeah, they definitely also. Do you? I pull out some of the dried meat from my pack.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like some?
I'd take a little bit and kind of nibble at it.
It is not good.
I continue to nibble at it to not be rude.
It is. It is what I've had to eat for a while, so you can understand why I had those eggs, and that was good.
Is it lizard jerky?
It's probably lizard jerky.
Ew.
It's.
Oh my god.
It is whatever was wandering the forest.
Lizard jerky.
That
Did
could
you
be.
make this?
That could be a lizard. Oh no, that is prime dragonborn food right there.
Oh, and I just kind of stick it in my pocket for now.
It keeps forever, so
Good to know.
That's really reassuring. Oh, it keeps forever. Awesome.
Thank God after the bombs fall, we'll have Twinkies and lizard jerky.
Mother still makes that really good stew. Just so
maybe one day.
hopefully soon. Everyone misses you.
What else have you been up to? I see you. I hear you just saved a noble.
Yes. My favorite of my odd jobs is I'm a guide, and I help people travel and help them hunt and stay safe. And I was hired to help that family move here. And apparently, who else they hired was not very kind. So, Snow and I, well, Snow was following us for a little bit, but she did most of the work. She's very good with her hands.
There's a puzzled look. Well, I hope she's capable.
She is. She's a good. I kind of stop and think. Cat? Person?
Yeah, I don't know.
Not sure which she wants to be called. I will have to ask that.
I tried and got yelled at.
Your approach might not have been good, and it was the first time you met her.
Well, noted.
She's good company, though. I've really enjoyed traveling with her.
Well, that is what matters, is it not?
how's Tanriel? How'd you meet him?
He might have saved my life. Some goblins were attacking, and they wanted to eat me. And then he showed up and helped me dispatch of a couple of the goblins, and then the other one ran away. He did most of the dispatching.
Well, that's one thing we have in common.
But I guess we should get back with them and get to this party, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, we've got work to get done. So.
All right. In these hour and a half, 2 hours that they went off to converse, Tamriel, Snow, is there anything the two of you would like to accomplish before we move forward to sundown?
No, I suppose I'm just quietly walking and kind of watching people and watching things. Just kind of taking a certain eye to how everything is laid out and kind of mapping it out in my mind a little bit. Seems like we're going to be sticking around for a minute. Yeah.
Twenty-one. Very nice.
Nice.
Very nice. As you're walking around for these, I would say you probably have about a good hour and 45 minutes. As you take in the layout of the town, you notice it definitely isn't haphazardly built, and it almost looks like it was practiced. The way the buildings are laid out for their purposes, clinic, town hall, central bell tower, a well, everything seems well thought out. At least you believe it was either just designed well or a practiced design. And once again, I don't think you caught it the first time. So as you come past the bell tower over the archway that leads into it, you do notice there is the numeral for 4 in the keystone of the archway.
Well, that's certainly interesting. If there were 3 others before it, how is this city defendable? Is it defense? Defense oriented? We're out in the middle of nowhere.
You are out in the middle of nowhere, but I would say with a 21, you don't see a lot of a presence of a town guard, but you do see in place of it uniformed, I would say with your knowledge and background, even with a bit of the muddiness there, you'll be able to pick them out as not a town guard. They seem too well dressed and maintained to look like a town guard. You would surmise it's either a larger region guard or perhaps even a kingdom guard. Not a lot. You maybe see like 5 in total, but they are similarly dressed in leathers or a breastplate, wielding a shield, a long or short sword, and then one would have in place of that a hefty crossbow.
Well, at least a few men to fight with. Okay. Good to know.
Okay.
I suppose after all that, I'm just quietly kind of walking and pacing.
Snow, anything?
She's probably just gonna take some time to herself. Probably either sticking close to 10 or back at the room, whichever is more convenient.
Okay.
And she's just gonna do a little bit of like inner meditation, relaxing, trying to keep herself calm in a city that might want to kill her.
Sounds good. I would say at sundown, all of you meet back at the front gate of the manor and are once again greeted by the same female. She walks out, smiles softly and opens the gate for you. It's not locked, but you get the semblance that they want to present this kind of status amongst them, that they have somebody that escorts people in, closes the gate, things like that.
An air of nobility.
Yes.
Does
So-
she look similar to our noble family? Like potentially related, or
No.
okay?
She lets you in and guides you through the front door and to the dining area, where a table has been set to include not only the four of you, but also 3 others. And at this point, it's a little crowded, but not enough to where you're rubbing elbows. It's going to be a little snug.
Mm.
And Edmund walks in and kind of smiles all of you. Thank you for coming back for dinner. At least I could do for you two, and he gestures to Carthalia and Snow. And then I would say the 2 of you, if you're going to be attempting to clear out these mines for me, let me at least begin with a meal. So thank you.
Thank you.
And he takes a seat. His wife comes in. And then you see this little kid. Brown hair. Couldn't be but 4 or 5. He kind of sits real close to his mom and just gets all wide-eyed and just stares at Kelvin.
Snow's gonna lean over to the young child and just whisper in his ear, "You thought I was big."
And the kid just kind of nods his head. Uh-huh. But after a short amount of time, a fantastic meal is served. It's cooked meats, tuber vegetables, some potatoes. It's hearty. It's rib stick and food. Definitely something you expect to see in a village of hard labor.
Excellent.
And as the dinner goes on, throughout, Edmund fills you in. You know, we came to this area because I was able to purchase these mines. And so I should have known such a low price didn't come without a hidden fee. He has a bit of grimace on his face as he says that, and kind of takes a few more bites of food, swallows it down. I'm just glad not more were left behind. For I can barely call them my men, but 2 workers are still out there. Well, their bodies anyway.
Huh. Were they seen moving?
No, just in my family, you're not truly back until you're back or in the dirt.
Interesting.
Like I said, I've owned this mines for 2 days now. But it's basic human rights to be wanted to be at least buried properly.
In the 2 days you've owned the mine, you have found a problem and sought a means to fix it. Much better than finding a problem and selling the mine.
This is very true.
Also, the gentleman that you told me about, I was able
Yes.
to heal his body. However, some infection had set in and a corruption of some sort that could not be healed. At least what I can do right now.
healed him?
Yes, I did. I was given powers few years ago.
Very unique set of gifts. Very handy to have with us when we are helping deal with your problem.
Hmm. Well, that's fantastic. It's nice that such nature could find its way here. And then throughout the night, conversation is had, food is enjoyed,
Mm-hmm.
and you see as he kind of calls his servant over, gives her a few words in silence, and she walks off and comes back with a small little coin purse. He kind of looks around the table and then hands the small satchel to Cathalia. Do you look inside?
Sorry, my headset for a second. Yes.
Okay. Look inside and you find you find 16 silver pieces.
Okay.
That should hold over for at least one more night's stay at, where were you staying again? I believe I asked you to go to the Cracked Tankard. Is that correct? He's trying to recall the information himself because that is where he sent you. But you can see he's in the things that have happened. He's just trying to recall the information.
Yes, that does sound right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That should get all of you another night's stay and even a meal in the morning before you head out.
That's much appreciated.
Least I could do. Should you be able to eradicate whatever it is that dwells in the mines, we'll talk about proper payment.
Well, whatever's in the mines is not... It's not typical. We would expect giant spiders. We could expect goblins, kobolds, even maybe an overly adventurous drow. But whatever this is carries an infection with it, and it corrupts. So that leaves cause for concern, but I'm confident if we go about this in a methodical and calculated way, we shouldn't come across anything more dangerous than we can deal with.
Okay. And he will, after the meal, once some more negotiations are had, conversation, he leads you to the front door. And just
Before we leave,
yeah.
Is it possible for me to take an additional plate of food with me?
Do you ask for one?
Yes.
Yeah. And they kind of just take one of their plates and they just, not sure how to send a plate off. They just kind of
send a plate, an actual plate.
Yeah, they take two plates and kind of sandwich them together, and then They take a little bit of like a pretty much a
Some twine or
small
something.
towel, and they tie it together and hand it to you.
Okay. As then he escorts us out, I will then you know, thank you. We will see you in the morning. But I am going to take my leave, and I'm going to actually head back to the hospital.
Okay. Before you leave, you will speak with Cathalia a bit more and just kind of give her directions to the mine. They're to the north. You'll, after about 2 hours of travel, you'll come across another town. It's Raso before this Raso. Apparently, as the mines have dried up, they've just built more and then left the buildings there, stripped the wood, and brought it here.
Well, number 4 certainly makes more sense now.
Oh, okay.
So, not sure if any buildings are left up there, but if you're there for more than a day, maybe you could find somewhere to sleep up there. But you'll see the mine. It will have, and he kind of takes some parchment paper and sketches out a design on it and hands it to Cathalia. Look for this symbol. I haven't had time to change it yet, so it's the old owner's crest, but it will at least get you to where you're going. And it's just this quick, crude construct of, looks to be kind of a feather that hangs off of like a miner's pick.
Okay.
I suppose at this point we're going to head back to the inn. At least most of us.
Okay. Does everybody head back to the inn except for Kelvin? Is anybody else going to go anywhere else?
Nope.
Okay, so the three of you head back to the inn and, using the newfound funds, supply yourselves with one more night of stay. And then, Kelvin, you head to the clinic.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm gonna see the desk clerk, ask him to see Damien again, or if it's a new clerk, then I will once again explain the situation.
You can see he's kind of getting some things together. Hey, back again?
Yes. Is Yosef still back there?
Yes.
Can I? As I say, can I? I'm already walking out through the door.
Right.
Thank you. And I'm gonna walk over, do the because I have the plate, I can't really do a knock and open. So I knock on the door.
Yeah.
And then I open it.
As you open it, you almost hit Yusuf with the door.
I'm sorry. I figured you. And then I hand him the plate.
Oh. He kind of takes the plate. Thank you.
How is he doing?
Well, he woke up for a little bit. And then said he wanted to rest some more. It's a start.
It is. Do you mind if I look him over one more time?
It's kind of late. Tomorrow?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Okay. You can see
Get some rest.
You can see just some bags under his eyes.
Get some rest. You're no good to him if you are exhausted.
Thank you. He kind of holds the plate up and then back down, like, again, thank you.
Nod, and then I turn and make my leave and head back to the tavern.
Okay. So all of you head back to the tavern. Enjoy nice nights of rest. And then next morning it comes to you.
After 4 hours, or my 4 hours, I'm gonna actually head down early before everybody else,
Okay.
and kind of light a candle, something small to try and read by with my journal,
Okay.
and then also just have some loose paper out and kind of start to jot down different ideas of what could be out there, what we could come across, and kind of, common solutions of different things of what we would need and what we need to do, and kind of general ideas without fully knowing what my comrades can do.
Right. I would say give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, great, because I'm so good at those. What the? Oh, well, there you go. Apparently, I did a bunch of them. We'll go with the first one, though. 12.
12. Okay. As you are kind of reading through your book, your mind trying to press past the enchantment placed upon it, a few things do come to you, and I will say it will open up some of your radiant art abilities you can begin to memorize.
Kind of, some of that stuff kind of floods back in a little bit more muscle memory than anything, and kind of start to write it down also on the loose leaf paper.
Okay.
But after I start to run into roadblocks again and stuff starts to get fuzzy, I'll kind of table that for later and
definitely. And as you're
push
writing
on
from journal to loose paper, it's definitely a task for your brain to stay on this focus as you're essentially piercing through your own warding. And you're able to unlock a small glimpse of this greater just journal of your life.
Really hope this is all going to start to make sense soon.
So you do that with the other rest of your rest time?
Yeah, with the other 4 hours or so before everyone else wakes up.
Okay. So slowly, one by one, you start to see the rest of your acquaintances begin to come downstairs.
All right. As they come down, I'll kind of wave and gesture to the table that I'm seated at. For 4 this time instead of just 2.
Okay.
I walk.
Okay.
Good morning.
Walk up and take a seat on the bench. I worry about the chairs; they might be a little small.
Snow?
Snow's gonna notice him looking at the chairs and just smile as she comes and sits down. She's kind of still blinking the sleep out of her eyes.
Okay. I imagine breakfast is had.
Yes.
Then, quickly made, especially as you are now known at least. So, breakfast is finished, and
I'm guessing as they saw Kelvin walking downstairs, they're like, "Get the eggs on!"
yes, actually, that is exactly what happened. You just see the halfling female go, "Oh dear."
He's back. He's back again.
Make all the eggs we have. A lot? No, all.
He's hungry.
But a delicious meal is had with proper breakfast morning drinks. The morning's a bit cooler than yesterday, especially being at the base of the mountain you are. But already you can start to hear and see other people being up and about, kind of pushing carts or having them drawn by beasts of burden as they begin to push out to distinctively mostly southern, away from south of the village, and then a few northern.
Does anyone have anything they need to take care of before we head out today? I would like to try to leave sooner rather than later.
I think I'm pretty much good. I've got everything I need, so
If
Good to hear.
we have a few minutes, I would like to go check on Damien before we leave.
That might be a good idea.
I'll go with. if
I
that's
made
okay.
sure that his brother had something to eat.
Very nice.
Okay. So, does everyone go to the clinic or just Kelvin and Cathalia?
I think we can all go because we can head out from there.
Mm-hmm. I
Okay.
thought so exactly.
You all head to the clinic. The same clerk is there at the front desk. He just kind of gestures to his right.
I nod and make my way. Knock on the door.
It's
I wait
opened.
this time.
It is opened.
Is it Yosef?
It is.
Does he look a little more rested?
He does.
Okay, good. I see you you took a little advice. How is Damien?
Well, he woke up a little bit to eat, but then he's still asleep.
Do you mind?
No.
I make my way in and I go over to Damien and I look him over.
Okay. Give me a medicine check.
10.
Okay. As you're looking him over, you can see the wounds are closed. He's not bleeding anymore, but those predominantly darker colored veins around the wounds in the base of the neck and the lips of his mouth and his eyes seem to be a little thicker and a little longer. And he is sweating.
That definitely doesn't look good.
I am going to I'm gonna force a smile and kind of pat Damien on the shoulder, and then look up at Yosef and say, "Well, it looks like sweating is a good sign. He might be burning through this infection. We should probably go take care of this and see to the rest of the mine." Friends? And I gesture towards the exit.
Yes, let's go.
Sooner the better, it looks like.
Yes, definitely.
All right. All of you head out of the clinic.
Once we get out of the clinic, I turn to people. I don't think he's going to make it if we don't figure out what's going on and figure out a way to fix it. I don't think he has more than a few days.
I'm more worried about what he could potentially turn into. Should we leave word with the clinician for them to quarantine Damien?
It wouldn't... I don't want his brother to worry too much, but maybe having people know that there is something magical about this infection might be good.
All right. I'm gonna step back in and ask the person at the front desk to step outside and talk to us outside for a moment in private.
He kind of looks at you a little odd. Me or the main doctor?
You for now. You can fill in the doctor as you wish.
Right. He kind of looks around left and right. Then he gets up, steps outside. What is it?
So whatever infection that is within poor Damien is not going well.
Telling me?
There's the potential chance, having dealt with other wounds, especially creatures, which I'm hoping it's not, but there's always a chance. If he starts to turn for the worse on his deathbed, it would be best to quarantine him and kind of separate and, like, I don't want to say barricade, but reinforce the door so that no one else can enter or nothing can get out.
Make a persuasion check.
Guess I'm super good at those. That's a 6.
Just kind of looks you up and down. Right. Take care of it.
Good luck. We should be back within
He heads back
3.5 days. That's great.
Door closes.
Yeah, don't listen to the people that have experience in this kind of thing. Go do what you do. All right, shall we go?
I think the best thing we can do now is just our task and hope we are faster than whatever this is.
Let us hope.
And with that, we head towards the mine.
All right.
Yeah.
All of you with this affirmed weight of a situation upon your shoulders, you make your way northward, following the range. And that's where we'll end tonight's episode.
Awesome.
Hope you all had fun.
I certainly
Yes.
did.
It's a blast for me, that's for sure.
I would like to thank everyone who stayed with us this entire time, and I hope you all enjoyed the very first session of Bar20 presented by Player Hater Gaming.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Look
Appreciate
forward
it.
to seeing where this takes all of us.
We'll see. I'm going to deafen for a second while I shut her down. But once again, thank you all for being a part of the story.
Have a great night, and we'll see everybody next week.
Well, everyone, that's it. Thank you for being a part of it, being here. I hope you had a fun time listening and watching. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Jupe, I'll look into that. Thank you. And everybody else, stay safe. Have fun. Laugh. We'll see you next Sunday.